Well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. I feel like it's been so long since we last spoke, and so much has happened really in the interim. So we got plenty to talk about once again today. I feel like I always say that now because, well, this market's just ripe with fucking opportunity. Bitcoin having one of the biggest hourly dildos and 4-hour dildos that we've seen in basically the history of Bitcoin, traveling about $1,200 in that time frame from when we last spoke. So following up on this, I do want to kind of talk about the intermediary and lower time frames that we didn't really get a chance to highlight too much on the earlier morning live stream. So without further ado, I always want to be wishing the best, the happiest of the happiest, as we say over here from Krown's Crypto Cave. A nice little Thursday. I believe it's Thursday at least, or it's Wednesday. Either it's Wednesday or Thursday. Doesn't matter what fucking day it is. I hope that you're having a great day. Anyways, without further ado, let's get in a live stream right here, right now, and I'll initiate that good old teleportation, and I will see you in there, baby. And there she is, Bitcoin in all of her glory on the daily. And you can see right here that we've actually come all the way up just to take a stab at that yellow 21 exponential moving average, which for me, that is what I've been saying for the past, Jesus Christ, for the past, week or so. And really, most of the time when I do talk, but coming into contact the last week that as long as we're below there, I really can't get long. And you do see that it's by no mistake that Bitcoin has found a little bit of resistance, not a little bit, but a decent amount of resistance right at this area, as we do kind of take a little bit of a wick to the upside and test it formally. Now, I do want to bring up the simple moon averages right here because this is something that I very rarely actually go on, but this is kind of like ancient knowledge from my mentor who used to use simple moon averages to kind of judge like the longer term trend, if you want to call it that, as they do get a little bit better. And you do see that right here, we do have a pretty interesting setup kind of staring us right in the face. And Bitcoin's at a major decision point. We're either going to, and this is what the fucking TA haters hate to hear, but this is the truth. We're either going to have a massive move to the upside, back up to around 11,800, maybe 12,000, fill in this region right in over here, or we're going to get severely rejected right here and just start a descent further downwards into the upper 8,000s would be the next sort of target with this. Looking at the way that these moving averages are situated right now, we have most importantly the yellow 21 exponential moving average crossing the downside of that 30 simple moving average, with the red 10 simple moving average having a negative slope on it. So the way that I look at this is that yes, if we actually do get a negative slope on all three of these guys, which right now we have negative slope on two of them, and not the 30-day, then yes, then that would be downwards pressure on price action, and probably does result in in continuation of trend. We'd also likely see the red 10 simple cross the downside of the yellow 21 as well, and I do have a video on that in the technical analysis 101 playlist. So if you do want to see why that's relevant, definitely go check it out there. I won't explain it during this video, but overall, just the lower periods below higher periods at the end of the day, and intuitively you know that that's kind of strengthening the trend to the downside. Of course, as it stands right now, Bitcoin is putting up a major fight right here, but I do want to talk about this as well, the 4-hour dildo time frame, which if we put back on these beautiful exponentials and get these disgusting simple moving averages out of my face, and let's actually take everything off except for the 50 exponential moving average represented by the green moving average here, and then also the purple 200 exponential moving average right here on the 4-hour dildo time frame. Now, we're at a major decision point in the way that I look at it, because we're actually damn close to getting death crossed. And if you're looking at the simple moving averages, we already did get death crossed, although this is why I do not care that much about simple moving average crosses. I care more about exponentials, because so far we have not initiated we have not initiated a death cross. We're also kind of like at a decision phase as well, as you can see right here. Both of them are flat. They're both parallel, as these are more reactive to recent price action with exponentials, of course, in the way that they're calculated. And with this next 4-hour dildo ending in the next hour and 16 minutes and 32 seconds, which is also going to be the end of the daily dildo close as well, then we should have clarity on where this is likely to go. If we get another rejection, is it party over for the bulls? Is this going to say that the cross is going to be respected? I don't know if it would say that just yet, unless if we actually simultaneously cross these guys to the downside, which right now would take a pretty hefty move back down, probably back down to about 10.4 region, and we probably won't actually even cross these guys to the downside unless if Bitcoin gets back down below 10.4 and closes there on a 4-hour dildo closing basis. So for right now, it's kind of safe from it. And if we actually even do close above the above this purple 200 exponential moving average right here at about 10.6, then I would say that this is going to be essentially a fake out. So going on into the discussion of like how major market movers operate, they know that everyone's kind of looking at crosses like this, especially on the simple moving averages, but the exponentials get them a little bit better. And so what they'll do is they'll kind of what's it called? I don't want to use the word. I don't want to use the bad M word, but I want to use. They will essentially make. It's like I got on to fucking repeat right there. It's so annoying. I apologize. I apologize for my fucking stutter. It annoys me more than you probably. But what I'm looking at right here is that a lot of the times the big market movers will create the illusion of of a very bearish thing or a very bullish thing, and then at the last second of it getting confirmed, and this is why I'm a confirmation trader with regards to these sorts of things, they'll kind of pull out the rug and then run it the other way, kind of like what we're seeing right here, perhaps, as this got extremely close to getting death crossed when we were live streaming this morning on this 4-hour dildo right here, one of the most powerful 4-hour dildos in Bitcoin's history. Not the most powerful, but certainly on the in the discussion. It's pretty damn good. It's $1,200 in the span of really about 5 minutes was what it was. Powerful move. So as we kind of approach this area right here, I'm watching very intently to see how we react. If we do get rejected, if we fail to close back above 10,600 region, it's going to lead on to the avalanche of effects. Technically speaking, we won't have confirmed the death cross, so to speak, but it will start to kind of put those wheels in motion. Although I would still say I really don't want to get bearish until we actually formally and fully cross these guys to the downside. I really don't want to get bearish until we do that. If we do that, then yes, we can talk about, moving back down to the low side of the range at about, 9,200, 9,300, and perhaps even lower than that over time, to our next targets at maybe like 8,800, 8,700 region. But for right now, this looks like it could be a pretty phenomenal fake out in play. Looking at our 4-hour oscillators, we actually do see 4-hour Stokes straight up to the sky right now, so are looking okay. However, they will be battling against this trend line right here, which we are currently fucking around with, and also I guess this guy coming down from here as well, although I don't think that this is really relevant to this time frame. Not only that, but we actually do see 4-hour RSI doing something interesting here as well. You can look at this both ways. You can make both the bullish case and the bearish case. If we get rejected here, if we confirm a local high, the problem with that is that not only do we confirm a local high and then perhaps puts us in danger of getting death cross once again, but also the divergence spots will start to tick this off as well, as this will be considered and confirmed hidden bearish divergence if we can confirm a local top here. How would we confirm a local top? We'd have to take out the low of this 4-hour dildo prior, which was about 10,385. So basically that 10.4 area that I was just speaking on. So keep your eyes on that, because this is going to likely we're likely to have full clarity on this situation probably by the time that this video is posted, maybe on the next 4-hour dildo close. If we, if you really do see a fight being put up right around this region, I would say that that's, overall going to be a good sign. If we close this next 4-hour above 10,600, that'd be a damn good sign. Probably does end up, running it back up at the very least to like 10,900, 11,000 region. But by the same token, as it stands right now, an hour and 12 minutes and 40 seconds to go, and we're right there. We're right on the fucking strike. And that's what makes this very, very exciting, but also very difficult. Speaking of my own trading behaviors, just to show I have a little bit of skin in the game. Actually, I'm still basically rolling with the same position that I've been rolling with for about 4 or 5 days now. Whenever I don't feel comfortable like trading direction, which I really haven't recently, especially because, technically you're supposed to be bearish for the last week or so, and I really just don't want to have spot short positions. I'll just do it with options. And this is, again, what I want to show, the beauty in options, in the sense that it's pressure off trading, and it's, in a way. Yeah, these 10,500 strike calls can hurt me, but I can also cover them just as easily on spot, and I will be covering them if we end above that next area. In fact, not only will I be covering them, I'll just take profit on them, really, but I'll also be starting my own long. So I will actually go long if we do take that area out to the upside and be targeting a move into the 11,000 and probably even beyond. I'd become short-term, medium-term, and long-term bullish on Bitcoin. Right now, I'm short-term, medium-term, neutral to, I don't want to say bearish, but neutral we'll call it, and then macro bullish still. Even higher time frame bullish as well. But the way that we're looking at this right here, I'd rather just play options if I do think, if I don't feel too strong about direction in the current area, and we feel like we're kind of in a, in kind of like a lifeless zone. So this is the way that I've been doing it. You guys have been watching the P&L go up and up, with each and every passing day. And this is with me even, not feeling all that confident as a trader, which sometimes I just don't feel fucking confident as a trader. It happens. I have to make sure that I'm actually recording. My mic is working. Okay, good. Almost had a massive failure with that earlier. So massive. So just another delay, and I'm not playing movies in the background, so that's also good. Fucking hell, man, that was so demoralizing last night to post up a video. I thought it was pretty damn good, actually, and I don't want to. And this is going to sound like a lot of bullshit in hindsight, but for the people who did actually get to view it, we actually got this move pretty fucking well. I said a move down to 9,400 and then probably bounce back up to 10,000. We got a little bit more than that, of course, but it's. one of those things where it's like, all right, well, I guess we can't really look at it. But for the 2,000 people who got to view it before I had to take it down, nice. Anyways, on to new pastures, on to new things, and more importantly, with this price action right here, it's really going to come down to these two moving averages for me. If we do end above, I will not only cover my short positions and basically take profit on them, as they are expired. They're kind of expiring tomorrow anyway, so it's it's not like a huge huge decision. But also what I will do is I'll start some spot longs and be targeting, like I said, first target about, 11, probably around 11,000, then second target maybe about 11.8 region, and then we'll kind of reassess from there. But this is a pretty dire area in the way that we're kind of looking at it. So keep in mind, if we do confirm this as a local high, the problem is that then we go into danger of essentially getting a death cross on these guys. Why is a death cross important? Well, because Bitcoin loves to play out the 4-hour death crosses and golden crosses, by the way. In fact, the last golden cross that we got essentially turned this market around on the 4-hour. The 4-hour has holds a lot of weight here. So it actually happened right on over here in February. So we literally got like what, a 3x, 4x, a fucking 4x from this region, basically. Yeah, about almost a 300% move. So that'd be about a 4x. And in the last time that we got a death cross was not even over here. We had a few fake outs as well. And it's kind of like the same thing that applies. Like when you do get a fake out and then you run after you get a fake out on, like, people are saying, oh, we're going to cross the upside right here, and then it does not, which if you zoom in, we actually never even cross the upside. That's a damn good signal that we're about to dump pretty damn hard, or vice versa in this situation if we're about to pump. But another example right here, gets ever so close and then drop out the floor on them. And the last death cross that we really had on the 4-hour was actually September 2018. So that led us all the way from about $7,000 to $3,100 on our actual low. The time before that was getting this price action right here, all the way from about 7,300 down to 6,000 base. And the time before that was a little bit more precise, right on over here, actually in a similar area at around 8,800, leading us all the way down to the 6,000 base again. And then the time before that was, you bastard, load the chart, you fuck. Just kidding. That's not what it was. It was somewhere right on over here, leading down from 14,500 all the way to 6,000 as well. So my point is that these get a lot of play in Bitcoin land. So I really don't want to see things get death cross. I don't want to be bearish here, but I will get bearish if we do, initiate that. Until that happens, I'd rather use the term neutral. If we can get above this area, I will be short term, medium term, and long term bullish. So right now it's kind of like those dire straits of what we're waiting for. And as I look at my screen over there, okay, everything's working. Man, it doesn't look nearly as good when it's actually bright outside. Fuck this sun bullshit. Get this out of my face. Had enough of you. My God. Anyways, sorry. Let's see. 3-hour right here. Let's throw back on all these all these major moving averages. I want to see how the very low time frames are kind of operating, just kind of get inside of what the very, 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 very short term direction is likely to be. We do see a rejection of the purple 200x benchmark moving average right here on the 3-hour. What about 3-hour oscillators? 3-hour Stokes are getting way up there, and we're kind of grinding this area out. I'd say that's a little bit more on the down, or a little bit more aligning with pullback. And even if we do get rejected here on the first pass, it's not a death sentence. Like I said, the death sentence is when we get the death cross and then also take out about $10,000 even to the downside. That would be a big deal to me. But for right now, we can afford to pull back here, even though, again, if we do confirm this as a local high, we're going to have massive hidden bearish divergence here as well, just like the 4-hour. And that'd probably put price action back down to about that 10,100, 10,200 base, which really, if you are bullish, you want to see hold up now. Looking at the 2-hour right here, 2-hour Stokes actually still to the upside, getting way up there. That's okay, though. I don't mind that much. I don't mind that too much. Same thing with 2-hour RSI, kind of looking like the 3-hour, as you'd imagine. It's just, one more, one less. But we're actually using that 89 exponential moving average as a support right here, getting caught between the 89 and the 377, both very important for long-term trend identification with regards to this time frame. We're not really getting too much unique information from this, from this chart right here. Let's go down to an hourly, perhaps. Hourly is a rejection of the white 200 simple moving average and also the 200 exponential moving average right here, unable to both open and close, and hourly dildo above there. Not only that, but we do see hourly Stokes wanting to cross to the downside. This is probably the more a little bit more of a damning chart here. But again, an hourly kind of initiated move like that is not, it's like how, you're going to get an hourly result, right? So a first target would be about 10,400, 10,450 right down here around the red 10 simple. And then maybe if things get a little more nasty, down to the 21 at about 10.2. So let's kind of go out and define these zones, so to speak, which I think are pretty damn easy right here. We have this guy right here. This is kind of like your intermediary area. As long as Bitcoin's above it, you can I don't want to say that you can be short-term bullish because I wouldn't be until we get the daily above the 21. That's just one of my rules. Other more cavalier traders can be bullish based off that. And I would say it's a pivot to make trades off of. I would agree with that. I would agree that it's valid. It's just not for me. But this area right here must hold if you want the bottom to stay intact. If we do lose this area between it's basically 10,000 essentially. I'm going to put a blue box down here actually. If we do lose this area, it's extremely likely that we do meet our prior lows of this of this run to the downside right around about 9,200, 9,300ish region, and we probably do head lower than that over time. So this is a pretty damn important area because not only are we going to decide all of these things, but I mean it's also just from the most basic of basic ways. I mean the most fucking chart guy ways out there. Well, the bulls want higher highs and the bears want lower lows. Well, right here, the bears would be getting lower highs and we actually did get a higher low right here. But we would be working on a lower high right here if this does get rejected. So keep your eyes on that. This will be confirmed as a local high and also a lower high. If we do head back below, I'd say about 10.4, it would be confirmed at that point for myself. Anyways, to the upside, of course, if this blue box right here, kind of like acting as the same, the same sort of meaning of it, as a lower one. If we can get back above there, I'd be, like I said, I'd feel very comfortable holding, short-term, medium-term, and long-term longs. Right now, I'm pretty much flat and just holding options positions. I'll also, I'll of course close my option positions, take profit on those, and then go long. And like I said, be targeting moves into this region right here. It'd also just be, a higher high over this kind of breakdown point. And of course, more importantly, or perhaps more importantly to me, it would also insinuate a close above the daily 21 right here, which is about 10.8. So, all of those things would be considered massively bullish for myself. But right now, we're literally right in the middle of all of these fucking it's like crosswires, in Mission Impossible when you have all these fucking lasers staring you in the face. We're literally in the middle of all of those right now, and clarity on this situation should be had probably in the next 12 hours, I'd say. Again, time analysis not really something that I think can be done, but it is interesting to me that we do see a lot of conflicting signals here, so I'd really rather wait for that sort of thing. I'll get into a little bit more mental masturbation right now. We'll look at the 12-hour really quick. We do have a bearish cross actually on these two moving averages, the yellow 21 and the green 55. But more importantly, and what I think holds a little bit more weight in this situation, especially with looking at the way that we've kind of played out this last 12-hour dildo, which is pretty fucking powerful to be fair. We do see 12-hour Stokes to the upside. These have been really good with actually getting the moves. In fact, we do have, the last cross to the upside that we saw was on the 3rd of July right on over here. That was leading up for this few $1,000 move from 10,000 to 13,000 plus. The time before that was all the way back on over here, I believe it was. Yeah, 6th of June. So that led this base out all the way from 8,000 all the way to almost 14,000 right on over here. And then the time before that was actually lining up right here was on the 18th of May, leading us out of this space, a couple $1,000 to the upside as well. And then basically all the crosses have really been good. Even the cross to the downside have actually been good as well. So this one kind of gender direction less biasless, if you want to call it that. It doesn't see direction. I don't see direction. I only see green and red and grays and a bunch of bullshit. But yeah, not only that, but we do see 12-hour getting back above the RSI getting back above the exponential right here, which is typically a good sign, and also getting out of the bearish control zone as well. So I do think that would lean a little bit more to the upside here. But the problem is that, we're kind of in a range from these, from even the medium time frames. And again, that range to the downside about 10.2 to 10,000 even. I'd say 10.2 if that breaks, that's going to be a pretty big warning sign. I don't think that going to 10,000 would be considered healthy. By the same token, back above the these two guys right here at about 10.6 and especially 10.7, the picture starts to look a little bit more rosy. Not like O'Donnell, but like like a rose. It smells good, and it's not like something that you'd want to smell the queef of. No, just kidding. Just kidding. You shouldn't say those things on the internet. But again, going back down to the 4-hour right here, this is really going to be if Bitcoin gets back above this region, I have a feeling it would kind of make it a little bit more easy, especially for me. But man, it's going to be a long hour that we got going on here. And like I said, even if we close below it, it's not party over for the bulls just yet. I'd say it's likely party over for a while. I mean, not for forever. I'm long-term bullish on Bitcoin, but it'd be party over for a while if we do get the death cross here on the 4-hour. That's kind of what I'm going off of. That's likely going to be confluent with any sort of a break below about 10.1, 10.2 region. And then the floodgates will likely open back up to a much nastier move to the downside. But for right now, Bitcoin actually living above it. So, if we can close this above, then first target, like I said, right around about 10.9 to 11,000. And then we can talk about a move into the deeper 11,000s after that. And I'd be happy to get long after that as well. Anyways, go back to the daily for a second. Daily 21 obviously coming in, in this range as well. And also what we need to avert here as well for the bulls is the crossing of that red 10 simple and the yellow 21 right here, which will be converging on each other likely on this next tick. So the higher that Bitcoin gets, the higher that Bitcoin can close today, the less damage that this will have. But again, this is a little bit more longer term right here. We do still see daily Stokes to the downside, although they are getting way down there. These ones have also been pretty damn good at calling the overall direction. Daily RSI popping back up to test the neutral zone of this area. Also going to be testing the exponential. So typically you do see a little bit of resistance in that region. But like I said, it's the lower time frames that I really have an intentful eye on right now. Not 2-day, but the 2-day chart right here, the 2-day dildo chart, is going to be not closing tonight. Okay, so it doesn't really matter right now. But tomorrow, if we do close above about 10.3 tomorrow, I'd say that would also be interpreted massively good by the market and probably does set us back up for a move towards 10.3. 10.4 region, or sorry, not 10.3, 10.4, but 11.3, 11.4 region back up here, and it starts to look a lot better. We do see 2-day RSI getting all the way down to the neutral zone. We haven't really seen this area tested in a very long time, but more importantly, it is bouncing off this region thus far, and we've really only been oscillating between the bullish control zone and the neutral zone thus far. So I'd still say that that's a generally good thing. Of course, I want to talk about the weekly as well. If we can, and this is going to obviously be a little bit more in the future, right? But if we can close this weekly above, or really anywhere above where we are right now, or above like 10.3, 10.4, and this closes on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and a lot of people have been asking me questions about this. It's the same time everywhere. It's whatever Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time is for your time zone in the world, that is when these daily doodle closes. Anyways, if we can close anywhere above about 10, let's call it like 10.3, 10.4, this is going to look like a pretty damn good reaction off the red 10 simple. If we can confirm that, then this is going to look like a high level consolidation. And yes, you do get this during very, 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 very strong trending markets. This would insinuate that Bitcoin is massively bullish over the long period of time, and we'd probably be headed up towards 16,000 in the coming like month or two, or whatever it ends up being. But for right now, it's way too early to say because we still have Friday, Saturday, and then of course Sunday. So that's 3 days. That's more than an eternity in cryptocurrency land. That's like a goddamn that's like a lifetime and plus some, but that's even less than eternity. So that even doesn't even make sense. It's eternity times 2. Anyways, my point is that weekly right here is kind of on the oscillator side a little bit more bearish. We do see bearish divergence on the weekly RSI right here, just a hair of it, but we also did lose the exponential as well. And right now we're just actually coming back to test it. It's a little not the best setup. We do see weekly Stokes coming to the downside as well, actually breaking below the critical zone. Typically not the best sign either. So yeah, overall though, like I said, I won't get bearish until we actually get that death cross confirmed. That's what I wanted to see confirmed this morning, to actually take some real trades, of which I really haven't done in the last week or so. But didn't happen. And this is why I wait for these sorts of things. A lot of people were saying, you're wrong about this. It's like, well, hold on. Let's give it some fucking time, man. Let's give it some fucking time. But right now, it is looking a little bit better. And I will say that this could, if we do see this area actually taken out, this is going to start to change a lot of my biases with regards to the way that Bitcoin's looking right now. Of course, it goes without mentioning, or it goes without saying that we should actually look at this as well. Let's take off everything except for the 21 and the red 10 simple. And just from a longer term perspective on Bitcoin as a trading asset, on the weekly, it does like to play off, especially the yellow 21 on these major massive dumps to the downside. A few times here and there we will hold up above the red 10 simple, but that's usually when we're trending, not when we're consolidating. We do see a few examples right here and right here, but for the most part, as soon as it loses the red 10 simple, it does come down to the yellow 21, at which time we do see plenty of bottoms called, like right here, 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 right here. That's enough of that. But yeah, you get my point. So that's what I'd be looking at right now as Bitcoin kind of does resolve itself. Of course, that would be obviously my next target if Bitcoin does initiate that death cross and we do head further south. It's going to be wherever the 21 exponential moving average is on the weekly, and that's not it's not a big deal to actually come down there. It would be a big deal to break it to the downside. So keep your eyes on it right here. It's currently at around about 79.50, but that will be rising up on Sunday with each and every passing week, as we do seem to be rising about sorry, yeah, about 200 to 300 bucks. 200 300 bucks with each and every passing week. So this next one probably puts us at around like low 8,000, like 8,200, maybe 8,300, something like that. So I'll keep my eyes on that. Of course, it's not going to happen like today or tomorrow. If it is going to happen, it's going to take its time. So I do want to be very, very clear in stating something like that. We're looking at weeks of price action here. These things happen over like a monthly schedule, not a daily or God forbid a fucking hourly schedule. After reading some comments, I fear what some people might be thinking on those things. But then I can also understand why a lot of people might misinterpret what I say. I mean, there's also like me just not being the best communicator as well. But I've also realized that at this point in time in this channel, I really just want to cultivate more of like the OGs of this channel who kind of joined this one earlier, as those are the kind of people who I really want to surround myself with. So the kind of like the more trolly or like, are we going up or down? Buy or sell now? Buy now. It's like, that's not constructive conversation. It kind of just distracts from the people who like actually, who actually fucking try and actually making an effort. And I'd rather surround myself with those kind of people. So I think I'll just stop kind of catering to those sorts of people. Not that I really have been recently, but we can just go deeper into the technicals now and just kind of scare them away. And I think that's completely fine anyways. Because again, I wouldn't mind if we didn't grow this community, not a fucking single person more, as long as we keep the same quality up. That's more important to me, as it makes it a lot more not just interesting for me, not just interesting for me for like meeting likely other cool people, but more so just because it also keeps me engaged. It also keeps me engaged when there's good conversations going on. It helps me stay. It also gives me different points of references as well, because it's like I don't see everything. Anyways, okay, so yeah, we spoke about that on the weekly. Typically, though, you do see that Bitcoin does have a history of playing out these pretty nasty downside moves on the weekly, about 40% drawdowns. All the way from about 30 to 40% drawdowns on these tests of the yellow 21 on the weekly. Just kind of measuring them out. Now you see that we had a couple of 40%, now 30%, now another 33%, now another 38%, now another 38 and a quarter percent, and then this guy running over here another 30% as well. So I would say that longer term, macro, I'm still bullish on. I'm not bearish on anything that's above its weekly 21. I mean, shit, we're not just above the weekly 21. We're above the red 10 simple on the weekly as well. I mean, that's fucking fine. If we do actually formally break the red 10 symbol, then yeah, we'll talk about a move back down to the 21. But even that's not a huge deal to me. I feel like a lot of people are waiting for a lot of, a lot lower prices. Everyone's looking at the same thing, right? Everyone's talking about the fucking gap on CMEs at 8,500, of course, which is valid. And at some point in time, it probably does come into play. But until we actually get down there, there's nothing to do beforehand. I just don't understand where people get these ideas from. Perhaps they haven't really traded traditional markets before. But in my experience, you don't play those before they actually happen. It's not like a fucking magnet or black hole, and I'm sure the people who have been telling you that for the last 5 weeks, they're probably having a painful lesson in that. No, it's definitely gonna hit it on this down right here, right now. Fuck! Another green dildo! Where did these guys come from? Bastards. Again, just like again and again, just open bunghole and receive further ramming from these massive girthy green dildo bulls. Anyways, going back down to lower time frames right here, I do want to start to pull this video together. We'll actually go take a look at gold really quick, just because I think gold is actually doing some interesting things, and we do see that Bitcoin and gold are actually quite correlated. But going over here to gold, oh, gold got the move. Gold got the move, baby. Oh, baby, fucking love it. So this is actually quite, I mean, we actually did speak about this during this morning's video, that this was likely to break out to the upside. We saw that move happen. Not bad at all. And measure move actually still pointed a little bit higher towards about 1466. So I think that we got a little bit more on this move to go. And don't forget that the greater measure move off of the whole consolidation from like the last 5 years, this guy right here, still very much valid as well, and that's pointing up towards about 1508, 1509. So I would keep my eyes on that area as well. I think just overall, this thing is an uptrend right here. It's looking good, and again, overall, we saw this break to the upside, just pretty stock standard. You see volume breakout as well. Nice. All right, there you go. Exactly what you want to see. Let's go check out the other top shit coins really quick. Link BTC. What did we see on this guy? Ooh, did it hit my 30,000 Satoshi target? No, it did not. Pretty damn close. I don't like this reaction right here. This is a pretty bad reaction. Let's go check out Bitcoin dominance chart. Let's see if this guy's still top topping out, which last I looked probably is. I think I called a top on here, actually pretty much right at the top. Again, not saying these sorts of things to be like I'm cool. You know, I knew it. I called it precision, decimal to decimal. Blah, 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 you know, all this bullshit. It's like, hey man, if you don't have any skin in the game, of course you're gonna fucking talk about I called it. It's like, okay, did you trade for it? Oh, all right. Tell me more about your calls, bro. Bro, I made some good calls, but did you make any money? Bro, doesn't matter. There were some damn good calls. It's like, all right, unfortunately the calls don't show up in your P&L, your trading does. And for all the people, you know, who for all the people who disagree, well, we can just agree to disagree in that point. That's why I like to show my options trading routing over here, and even show that, hey, when I even when I'm not feeling too strong in the market, can still make money with that. Kind of like the ace in the pocket. Anyways, Bitcoin dominance chart right here does look like it's having a little bit of a bounce right off the red 10 symbol, but I do think that over time we come down here, so alts probably get a little bit more of a reprieve. They probably do rally a little bit more versus Bitcoin. I don't know about versus the dollar, but versus Bitcoin likely. But then a longer term, I am still bullish on this, so that will spell some more pain for altcoins. But we basically just hit the measure move off this massive flag during 2018, and then also like a smaller ascending triangle right on over here more recently, and also the purple 200 exponential moving average. So both these measure moves being hit, also a major moving average, and so we do likely pull back and kind of resolve it for a little bit here. But longer term, like I said, I am still bullish on this. Weekly and monthly both look fine to me. Monthly looks like it wants to. The monthly looks like it could fucking explode. So I don't think I don't think that the carnage to alts is done just yet. I think that right now we're going to see some relief rallies, and I mean even some like Cardano is really not getting it up too much. I'd really want to see Cardano actually take a stab at 650 satoshis right here. That would look a lot better. We do have some good bullish divergence on this baby, so I do I still think that it has a little bit of a chance here, but going to be crawling its way for right now. Let's go check out GBTC. GBTC closed for the day, closed right underneath the yellow 21 exponential moving average, so it did not close above. So if GBTC actually is leading, which we did see it lead a couple days ago, and then yesterday, and then I believe it did today as well, then we will unlikely defeat the 21 exponential moving average today. But like I said, we'll know this information for sure in the next 49 minutes. As currently it is 6:11 is Chicago time, so that means it would be 7:11. Nice, not bad for New York, and they close at 8. BNB. What's BNB doing? Right after the red 10 simple, probably does back off here. I'd say a short-term pullback to 28.90, and then probably does give another try towards $30. Zcash, what's Zcash looking like? Pretty good move here as well, right at resistance, just like we see on PNB. I'm going to imagine that most of these guys look exactly the same. Good reaction off the white 200 simple. Do we get a pullback off this trend line right here first and foremost? See if it's lining up with anything else. We do see a rejection thus far. Yeah, probably does a little bit of a pullback back down to 76.5. Does it give another try higher? I mean, it's really gonna come down to Bitcoin. But I would say that we do see a few more things suggesting that it does try higher, and the next move would probably be right around $85. Bcash. Bcash looks like it wants to test around 335 to 350-ish region. Tron Cash kind of has a free ride all the way here towards 2.7. Wow, this is some crazy price action though. Fucking brutal. Neo, what's Neo doing? Right at resistance, probably does pull back here. I'd say structural support right around 12.33. EOS Cash, what's EOS doing? This one laggard as well, still creating lower highs. I'd really like to see it pop back up and test around 453 region. See what the lower time frames look like. Yeah, it probably does test around there, and if it can get a higher high there, that'll look good as well. Let's see. Ripple Me Nipples. Ripple Me Nipples still holding valiantly on this bottom trend line right here, the same trend line that's been going all the way back for about a year now. As long as it holds up above this trend line, there's no sort of beargasm targets to be hit, and beargasm targets would be in the low teens, and then even as far as like 8 cent or a little bit below 8 cent if we do actually fully break down. But right now, looks to me like it has a free ride. Did we hit the 33 cent target? No, we did not hit 33 cent target. We hit 32.5 cent. I do think that this one gives perhaps another try towards about 33 cents, and then we figure it out. Again, whatever Bitcoin's doing, these alts are likely to magnify. Monero, what's Monero doing? Good move on Monero, actually popping right back up to test those resistances right there. Let's see what the lower time frames look like. Holding up above this horizontal, but it does look like it wants to pop back down and test around 81.31. And then we'll kind of figure it out from there. Still kind of putting in lower highs as long as we're below this $89 pivot. What about Stellar? Still below 9 cents. Looks like it actually wants to work its way back up here towards 9.5 cents. Okay, but again, most of these things, they're going to do whatever Bitcoin does. Hey, Litecoin hit our target at 103, 102. We actually got up to 105. Not bad. Probably does have a short-term pullback down to $99.50. Regardless if you're bullish or bearish, I'd be looking for a pullback there. And then if the bulls are going to take back on over, I'd want to see a bounce from 99.5 and then work our way back up towards 107.5 to basically 110 region. We do see daily oscillators pointed back up, daily Stokes back up to the upside. These have been a little bit more finicky. We do see daily RSI regaining the exponential as well. I can go either way on this one, but I would say I would hold fast to a pullback down to about 99.5, 99.3, and then we'll see if it gets picked up. If it gets picked up, that'll be a good sign, and we probably do make our way towards 107.5 or 108 region. Mr. Buterol, what are you doing, baby? Right, wow. This baby actually broke below the 200 exponential moving average. I do consider this a reaction off the 200 simple right here, so good. Does this trend line hold any weight? It does match up with the 200 exponential, but more importantly, if we can actually close this daily doodle above the 200 exponential, which is 223.25, which is looking pretty likely here, then I would be looking for a move. Ultimately, probably a little bit of a short-term pullback, but then further upside to about 245 actually. Anyways, let's go check out traditional markets just really briefly. Traditional markets picking it up. So exactly. Oh my God, perfect, fucking perfect. So we see this rising wedge break to the downside. Measure move is basically hit for all intents and purposes. I had a little bit lower than price action here, but that's okay. And then gets picked up immediately. I do consider this a test of the yellow 21. This is a damn good reaction. Yes, we are right at the red 10 simple. So tomorrow, if we can get an up open anywhere above 299.25, I would be bullish for another move back up towards about $300.50 right here, and perhaps even a little bit more than that. It looks like it wants to work its way back up, and this one also has been showing correlations with Bitcoin. We can bring it up right here. The correlation coefficient. And while I've been talking about all this bullshit, where is it? Where are you, Bollypur, you beautiful bitch? There you are. Just kidding, man. Nice little term of endearment. But we do see correlations on the weekly, on the higher degree of trend here between Bitcoin in the purple histograph and also traditional U.S. markets, major Boris, kind of coming in, at a decent level. So a bullish traditional market matches up with the bullish Bitcoin. So we do want to see these things kind of line up with each other. Anyways, Bitcoin almost, I think just head back, or was just briefly above 1070 right there. Sorry, 10,700. So it's looking better and better. So let's see. I'll be posting this video. It probably, by the time that it actually officially posts, we will actually have full on confirmation of this. If this 4-hour dildo ends above, especially like 10,650, I will be looking for this to get further continuation to the upside. Technically speaking, though, we won't have higher highs, and we'll still be technically in a downtrend with regards to this time frame right here. But it would look good enough for me to put on a little bit of risk. Of course, not every trade is going to have it has like 100% hit rate. No, of course not. It's not fucking, as far as I'm concerned, I've never seen it been able to be done. But what I would say is that it's good enough for me to put risk on, and I'll be managing risk right below about 10,550 region. So again, a nice little risk reward setup. Again, not guaranteed to work out. It's just a nice little setup. And if you find those over time, then statistically speaking, you will be successful. Anyways, with regards to this, I'm going to start to wrap this bitch up now. To kind of wrap this whole thing up, I'd go as far as saying that I care the most about the 4-hour 50 and 200, the death cross, or a version of death cross, if we do avert the death cross by closing anywhere above about 10.6 or 10.650, especially anywhere above that. It's going to start to look pretty damn good, and I would say that we'll have a first target of around 10.9 to 11,000 region, and then probably have a little bit of a pullback there, and then initiate a run a little bit higher into the 11,000s, like 11.6, or sorry, like 11.5 to 11.8 region would look about right. So we're getting damn close. It's coming down to the wire. We got 41 minutes and 38 seconds left to go. If this does happen, it'll probably also be confluent with the daily getting back above the yellow 21 right here. And if we could do that, or if we could also just get back above this breakdown point at about 11,000, that's going to really start to be a change of behavior. This is going to be then confirmed as a bear trap right here. And a lot of people are going to be trapped from this one, because I know a lot of people are looking for much further down targets. I will look for those further down targets as well, if and only if we actually reverse from here and get the death cross fully confirmed. If that happens, then yes, I'll be comfortable, and actually probably put it on real shorts. But for now, I'm chomping at the bit to get long once again, but it's still not quite there. Still haven't really taken a real trade in the last like week or so, just playing options. And I just want to show that these things, how these things can be a lot more easy on your life. I think a lot of people like get caught up in the attempt to be perfect with their trades or like always be in a trade. I mean, if I'm not comfortable with what I'm looking at, if I don't feel confident, I won't trade. And that's what the options are for. They kind of allow me to construct ranges and then be able to cover quite simply. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for right now. I do want to wish you well on this Thursday or Wednesday or Friday, whatever day it is. Doesn't matter what day it is. Hey, wish you well. Wish you the best, as we say. And I'll be back on tomorrow with some more video live stream and in upload action. So take care and see you soon.